Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talk About Tuesday. We love to talk about a lot on Tuesday, most of all, how we can be of service of value, how we can build our neighborhood of people that want to help each other and know people that help each other. If you haven't joined our neighborhood, please email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We appreciate you coming on board. We will be at SoFi Stadium tomorrow. Come and join us and many others, and a VIP dinner afterwards. So please email me if you'd like to join us there. And then we have VidCon, and then we have Fanatics Fest, and then the big finale at the Business Summit with Aspire, Kevin Costner, Gary Vee, myself, Tim Story, Eddie Wilson, etc. Come and join us all. We got the world's biggest speakers over 3 days at the 2025, the world's biggest business tour. Come and join us. We appreciate you. David@dmeltzer.com if you'd like to join us. We'd love to have you. And load up the questions here. We'll bring on another double M as we are here. Well, I guess they have them scheduled right away. So let's go ahead and bring, I saw him here, Melvin, Melvin. Go ahead, request to join here. There we go. Bars, go to bullybehindbars.com. Came out a few years ago, and it's a captivating book, and would love to get some insight into what it's like to serve time in prison and the price that needs to be paid for the mistakes that we make. Welcome, Melvin. How are you on this great Tuesday?
I am great. How are you this afternoon?
I am doing very well, and I've always been. I can't. I read your book a while ago, and I just love people that illuminate the truth. I think we learn the most from the truth and understanding the hard truths that are spent in incarceration, and we have no idea how petty crimes can add to such great pain, but also great lessons. As you became an activist to help with our uh, redemption system, I'll call it. What? Give us your story first of all, because it's remarkable.
So it all began in about 2004, where I was working at a car dealership. The car dealership, Freedom Nissan on Shelburne Road in South Burlington, refused to pay me for my commissions. And instead of taking the high road, I sought revenge and decided to try to sell one of their vehicles.
And
And
that didn't go over so well.
yeah, I didn't end up so well. But what I've learned is, because I have autism and I'm on the Asperger's spectrum, and I've learned that, that impulsivity, my shadow, I've learned that instead of trying to hide, repress, or deny that, I put that right in front of me. So I know I'm always going to be impulsive. It's the key is to try to put that in check.
And what type of penalties did you receive for this petty theft?
18 months in prison.
18 months in a federal
No,
penitentiary?
that was the state. Uh,
Okay.
the first time state sentence. And then I got out and I found a job, was delivering bread. And I was what you would call a lukewarm Christian. I was trying to check the box. I wasn't really, I was trying to, I wasn't doing the work to be a real Christian. And as a result of that, I couldn't find a job. So I decided to I could, because of the background checks have been so prolific, I ended up trying to use other people's information to try to get a job. And that's what ended up with the federal um, sentence
And how long was that sentence for?
for 18 months again. Same judge, Jeffrey Crawford, both judge in both the state and the federal case.
Wow. And what did you find at the prison system, especially the federal one, I imagine, What were some of the things that you weren't expecting there in Massachusetts as you were incarcerated?
I was expecting the high gang influence in the federal prisons. I wasn't expecting to come out worse than I came in. But I ended up journaling throughout my time, and that got me into trouble. At one of the institutions, they ended up confiscating my journal entries. The guards did. They knew what I was doing, and they knew that what I was saying could come back and bite them. But
And did that
I created it, and then I wrote my story, and I did that because it was cathartic, and I wanted to share my story so that no one else has to go through what I went through.
and what was some of the things that you went through?
Getting raped, getting mistreated by the guards because I'm a gay man, getting put in solitary confinement where because inmates would make up stories that I was trying to proposition them when that was not the case.
Wow. And as you got out, did you change your perspective on the opportunities that you could take advantage of beyond writing the book?
So So I had a near death experience in August 2015 driving on 495 when a car literally crossed in front of my car and I was going 72 miles an hour. And for me, that's pretty slow. I've been known to go, 130.
Wow.
I know, no guts, no glory.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to turn my way over to God, or turn my life over to God and start living a honest lifestyle. Stop stealing, start being more honest. And it hasn't been hard. And accepting Jesus, and Jesus has really taken the wheel, just like the Underwood song.
And, there is a combination of wisdom and faith that shortens our distance of resistance that we create between us and our God. And I have myself, over the last 18 years, utilized faith as, for me, one of the two components of my success. So, to that measure, how important is your faith and what has it resulted in outcomes?
My faith is absolutely pinnacle to everything that I do. And I know that when I make decisions without asking God for his input, I make very bad decisions.
And a lot of people would ask, how do you ask God for his input?
Great question. Prayer, seeking counsel, attending church, journaling. I think journaling is absolutely critical. I mean, I always tell people if you can't accept Genesis 1:1, you might as well close the Bible and move on. It is all about faith. It's about faith that there is a God. If you can't, if you're looking for God to appear in the five senses, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, for me, your God and everybody's God is only apparent when there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where we want to be. That's where faith lies, that we're protected, promoted, loved, and perfected by an infinite, abundant, unified system that loves us more than even our moms love us. In you writing the book, Bullied Behind Bars, what's the takeaway that should entice us to read the book? I really enjoyed it and found a great perspective. It's a man's search for meaning in a very distraught system, and very relevant to today and what happens outside of the prisons as well.
I think for me, the key takeaways are that prison is not a place that anybody wants to go. And thinking through consequences, every decision that I make has both positive and negative consequences. And if I wish I had that intellect I have today back then, I wouldn't be talking to you today.
Yeah, but finding the promotion and protection in it and learning the lessons and carrying them forward to empower other people is quite a noble cause. And I appreciate the book and I appreciate your efforts and I appreciate Bullied Behind Bars itself. Thank you so much for joining us and being so vulnerable about your own story. Matt Melvin, check out his book, Bullied Behind Bars. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
We'll have you back. Thank you. What a great guy. Everybody makes mistakes. Whether you own it or not is another question. Pri is in the house. Hopefully, we will be seeing Pri at the Fanatics Fest, where we'll be with Victor Cruz and Michael Chandler. Marshall Falk will be at Fanatics Fest. A variety of other people. Come and visit us at Fanatics Fest. Check out the Razal booth as well. We'll be working with them. Mr. Minty will be with me. Go ahead, email me if you want to join us at Fanatics Fest Friday or Saturday or Sunday. David at dmeltzer.com. Come and join us. But we'll be inviting Pri to join us at Fanatics Fest and our VIP dinner if she cannot join us. Priyanka Ganju is in our presence. Let's go ahead and invite Priyanka in here. She's the founder and CEO at Coffee Beauty. Go to coffeebeauty.com. And hello, how are you?
Hi, David. I'm good. How are you?
I am excited to have you here. I'm so proud of what you're doing, how you're doing it. You are a great icon for young entrepreneurs, and you have this beautiful young brand coming into your fourth year after 3 years of growth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, and, looking at young women and supporting them with Meltzer funding and giving bridge capital to uh, entrepreneurs like yourself. You've had some amazing milestones in your career. What's been the biggest surprise in building this business, the biggest challenge that's surprising to you?
I think the biggest surprise has been how, when you put the message out there, the community finds you. I think when I first started out, I was hoping obviously my friends and family would support, and of course they did, but if they're not really passionate about what you're building, they're not going to go out of your way. But as long as you put the messaging out there, and whether that was like me just posting on my own personal LinkedIn or like Instagram or whatever it was, we were able to find the people who really believed us, and it was just incredible. Sometimes it's just so affirming to see that what you're building has people who want to build with you, and they're so generous with their time and energy and support and love. And I think it's kind of nice to have the universe give you that signal. And that was surprise. That was the biggest surprise. I think the challenge was actually interesting because if you think about the beauty industry, the stakeholders in it, the traditional investors, retail channels, there were many people who basically told me, I used to work in the beauty industry prior to launching Kofi. They told me that what I was building wasn't needed or wasn't aspirational, wasn't something that would succeed. I heard so many no's from the ecosystem. And at the same time, I was hearing like, we really need this from the community I was building for. And I think that was sort of very interesting. And I'm glad that I just believed in myself, believed in the people who were supporting me, and sort of like proved some of those people wrong.
Yeah, I always say the more people that tell me that it's a bad idea, the more I look into the idea. It seems to be a great equation of success. Now, you have launched since 2021 as a center of joy, culture, and inclusivity. You're the only, I think, or first South Asian owned makeup brand carried by Sephora. And you have these innovative products that people laughed at you and scoffed at you and made fun of you about, and now they applaud you. I know particularly my girls use the brow gel serum since I see that on my credit card bills. I was curious though, in your young brand, Kulfi, what does the word Kulfi mean?
Kulfi is actually an Indian South Asian dessert, and it's similar to ice cream, and it's creamy and fun. And the reason I named my brand Kulfi was because I really wanted to change our relationship with beauty. I think oftentimes, and that's true for me growing up as well personally, beauty products were about like achieving a certain aesthetic, and I didn't necessarily fit into the aesthetic that was being celebrated at the time. And there was a lot of like negativity around beauty. But in my personal journey, I realized that sometimes it's just fun. It's fun to put on a highlighter, it's fun to put on a lipstick, like it can be really expressive. And so I wanted to channel that in our name. And I was thinking back to when I was a girl, little girl, in Delhi in summers in India, I would eat kulfi on a hot summer day. And those were some of my favorite memories growing up. And I want beauty to feel like that, just fun, playful, joyful, connecting us with sort of just happiness.
You know, and a lot of times when I'm working with women entrepreneurs, they're exceptional at figuring out the need by seeing what they need. Uh, what products or innovations have you launched that are specific to a need that you felt or saw because you needed it and didn't or couldn't find it in the marketplace?
Yeah, you mentioned Free the Brow. Honestly, it's one of the products that I'm really proud of because growing up, I had bushy brows. I have bushy brows, and that was something that I used to get bullied for. And I had this sort of like interesting relationship with hair because in our culture, hair on the head is really celebrated. We have hair oiling traditions. It's really about like not nourishing your hair on the head. But when it comes to body hair, facial hair, it's demonized, and you're supposed to like just get rid of it and like kind of fit into this like ideal of like thin brows. And for me in my 20s to unlearn that and start to embrace my natural features, embrace my brows, that's what Free the Brow is about. That's why I feel the name is very evocative of that feeling that we want you to celebrate your brows, come as you are. And it has these, what's great about it is that, of course, you can use it to laminate your brows, but it actually has nourishing ingredients that are inspired by hair oiling traditions. So it actually helps your brows, like, grow healthier and stronger. And I think that's what makes it such a standout product for me. I think the message behind it, but also the performance, of course.
And then finally, one of the key prioritized efforts that I have is to capitalize women entrepreneurs. They're the most underrepresented and most powerful entrepreneurs, most successful and capable entrepreneurs that I work with. And I'm not just saying that because my wife is an entrepreneur and my three daughters are entrepreneurs, but
I love that you're surrounded by women because
yeah,
that is just the most beautiful thing.
it,
Like
I'm
it's amazing because
blessed.
you understand the power of women.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed to be honest, being a semi-white middle-aged mutant turtle that I am. I'm disappointed that we haven't advanced the capital structures and capital culture to fund more women, let alone women of color. I believe less than 2% of women are funded. That doesn't make any sense mathematically. And I think we are limiting our potential in America, especially if we're not giving extra. We should be at 51 to 55% funding of women and women of color over what we have today. I am sure you have faced mega challenges in your first 5 years here in getting capital. How have you been able to overcome that statistical challenge that I'm sure you faced?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I've had hundreds of conversations. Because I worked in the beauty industry, I was able to get in front of a lot of investors. And I just heard no's. Like, I heard a lot of rejection. And it's interesting when you look at the number, I had read that number before, but I thought, oh, I just almost felt like, no, but I can beat the odds. But it's not true. You realize that it's true that 2% of women, probably less than 1% women of color get funding. And that's when I realized that I think it's because people look for patterns of success. On, like these venture capitalists are looking for patterns of success. And because they associate that not with a woman of color, they're not funding us. And I was like, in my dream is to change that, right? Like be successful myself and then hopefully invest in the future in women in the future myself because I want to change that pattern of success narrative that is unfortunately ingrained in the VC ecosystem. But ultimately, it ended up being my friends and family who were the first people to support me. It was the people who knew me, who believed in me, and were like, okay, trust that you seem very passionate about it. Here is some money to go and do it because they believed in me. And I feel like a lot of women of color in particular have to go this route. And unfortunately, we don't have, I'm an immigrant. I don't have the same networks of wealth necessarily within my friends and family. But so I really appreciated the fact that they went above and beyond what they could do to help support and get this off this ground.
Well, they made a wise investment, in my opinion. And anyone out there that's a woman or a woman of color, please see me at meltzerfunding.com. Happy to look at giving some bridge capital to help you get started in case you don't have a family with any capabilities financially like the one I grew up in. Anyway, I just am so excited for you. We're going to be in New York. Hopefully, you can come and stand out and shout out at Fanatics Fest or afterwards at our VIP dinner in New York City next week. We'd love to have you a week from Friday. Reach out, we're all my team, reach out to you. If you want some fine beauty products, innovative beauty products, celebrate us with Priyanka Ganju at kolfibeauty.com. Thank you so much, Priya. We appreciate you.
Thanks, David, and great work with the fund. That's amazing.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Hopefully, I'll see you next week.
Yep. Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
She's amazing. All right. There's so many great women entrepreneurs out there. All right. I'm bringing on a friend of mine, and it's a business I've been in for a very long time, very near and dear to my house. The CEO at Light Helmets, lighthelmets.com, utilizing better safety measures in my favorite sport, a passion of mine. Welcome, Nick Asayan, to our live. Thanks for joining us.
David, thanks for having me today. Excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. You and I are on the same mission of celebrating the best sport that's ever been created, as well as other sports. But protecting them is so important. And Light is leading the way. You have the Apache helmet to help with the athlete safety. What with Light helmet, I think it only weighs approximately 3.5 pounds. It has a lot to it because it is so light. What are some of the characteristics that make it different than your normal helmets that we see?
Sure, it's a great question. So traditional helmets weigh 5 to 6 pounds, and the industry only in the last year or so has started to look at weight as being an issue. It adds to the kinetic energy when you accelerate a 8 pound bowling ball versus a 5 pound bowling ball. There's a lot more energy in that at the same speed in that collision. So we have used some advanced materials from auto racing in the military that have been proven over the last 20 years and applied it to football and been able to improve the performance in impacts, protect the players, but also reduce weight, which reduces the stresses on the cervical structure and a lot of impacts, these head whip injuries that you see when the player's head whips into the ground. But also, everybody wants to perform better on the field. And like you said, this is the greatest sport. Right on the planet, and we want to keep these players safe. But this technology will also trickle into other sports like hockey, bike, flag football, and other areas. But right now, we're codifying our position in football and predominantly right now in the NFL, NCAA, and then it trickles through high school and youth.
And you guys are already in every locker room in the NFL, over 100 NCAA schools and programs across the country. Uh, Obviously, the money to be a successful business, you got to make money. You have to get to the masses, to Pop Warner, to our high schools. And let's be honest, that's where it's most important to protect our athletes. There's far greater numbers. The ages are far less. They're younger. And so they're more susceptible to different types of injuries, as well as they don't have the professional guidance, care, and prevention of, baseline testing. And, they are exposed to greater risks. How can we help proliferate the helmets into not only high schools, but the Pop Warner leagues?
It's a great question. So many of the kids and parents and high school coaches, they look at what they see on Sunday. And the helmet you might see from one of our competitors that costs $1,700 that's worn on Sunday may have the same geometric shape on it as the youth player's helmet, but that's the only thing that is in common between those two helmets. So the parent thinks, gosh, I bought my son XYZ or daughter XYZ helmet. It's really not what they're seeing on Saturday or on Sunday. And we've got helmets that are on television on Saturday or Sunday, but we also have helmets for the young player. And the new mandate for all youth helmets in the very near future here, it's already been passed and it's starting to permeate, is that every youth helmet has to be under 3.5 pounds. And Light is the only company that has helmets that are already approved for youth level of play, which is 14 and under, that are under 3.5 pounds. Now, if you go to an NFL player like a Cam Jordan who's wearing our helmet, Tyrod Taylor, Darius Robinson, they want lightweight as well. You think about it, and in a Formula One car, in my background's in auto racing, that might weigh 1,500 pounds. They'll spend any amount of money to reduce 2 pounds. Imagine on a marquee Olympic quality athlete of being able to take 2 pounds off, 3 pounds off a 250 or 260 pound player. That's a huge reduction in weight and off the absolute worst part of the body. But you got to get the pros and the college kids wearing it for the high schoolers to want to wear it, right? Because the kid has to want to wear it. Otherwise, people buy it and nobody wants to wear the helmet. So, having that permeation in the NFL, NCAA, the Keelan Russells at Alabama that are going to be wearing our helmet this year. He's a new, exciting quarterback. We had a kid, Cam Rising, that was wearing our helmet over the last 3 years out of the University of Utah. Unfortunately, had a hand injury, but getting those players to wear it helps in the high school space and in the youth space. And there's only 3 football helmet companies, so the choices are fairly limited. And we're the only one with a real competitive advantage in terms of the protection afforded by the better materials and the reduced weight.
And in that is unyielding resilience to protect that valuable brain that sits inside of our heads and to that performance. And we don't want to compromise the safety. So it still has the highest level of safety. I want to finish with that as we've been talking about the strength, precision, the unyielding resilience that the helmet has at less than 3.5 pounds. But it also doesn't compromise anything safety wise. In fact, it may be the safest helmet on the market.
Spot on. So Virginia Tech is the Consumer Reports that ranks all of these helmets. They have impact testing, etc. The Light Apache is the #1 helmet ever tested. And you wonder, how does this smaller company out of Southern California compete with the Riddells, compete with the Schutt and Weisses, and outperform those helmets in these, fairly rigorous lab tests, and right up at the top at the NFL tests, up at the top at Virginia Tech, not only on the varsity level, and I'm sharing this with you, nobody knows it yet. You'll see it on Virginia Tech. That Light will also have the #1 youth helmet for younger players, and that complements our #1 flag football headgear and soccer headgear. Every category we've entered at Virginia Tech, we've had a #1 rating. Our prices are in line, but we're also able to reduce the weight significantly. And the most important thing is that regardless of your socioeconomic situation, if it's a small school, a big school, we have helmets that provide this level of protection for everyone, because everyone that plays the game deserves that level of protection. Football's never been safer to play, and we're a part of that.
And coming from a below average college football player that has his college helmet in my son's room, and he thought it was a toy helmet, could not believe that I actually used that helmet. And working with Lee Steinberg with the Sports Concussion Institute, with Tony Strickland and Julian Bales, and been in the space for 35 years trying to protect our athletes, especially our children, as we represented Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, and Steve Young, 3 of the greatest quarterbacks who also suffered multiple concussions. Obviously, the technology wasn't there like it is today. If you want to work with the strength, precision, and unyielding resilience with maximum comfort and performance at less than 3.5 pounds, don't compromise safety. check out and compare for yourself Light helmets. Go to lighthelmets.com. The Apache helmet leading the way. In every category, you'll find Light helmet leading the way, and you can see those test results for yourself. I've been in this game a long time. I've been friends with Nick a long time, and we're always trying to promote the best out there. If a guy tells you, a professional race car driver, that a helmet is safe, I trust him. That's for sure. Nick, we'll definitely want to see you in person. Come on up to SoFi Stadium. We'd love to have you speak and get exposed to some more business for you and get some content with you at the stadium and Light Helmets. Go to lighthelmets.com. Nick Asayan, thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much, David. We'd love to come up. Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, Tony Romo, partners, they come and join, and it should be an exciting opportunity. Thanks so much for having me today.
Congratulations. Keep saving our kids. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Appreciate you, David. Thanks for
You
having me.
got it.
Bye-bye.
What a good guy. And we got to keep football going. It's not suffering, that's for sure, but we want to make sure that everybody's safe and sound. We are blessed to be here and talking about Tuesday. Right on time. We will be at SoFi Stadium tomorrow. I invited Nick up there. Got a VIP dinner afterwards. We got VidCon in Anaheim. We have Fanatics Fest in New York City, meetups, holding courts, VIP dinners, interviews, speeches, all types of great things. We're going to be surrounding ourselves with extraordinary guests. And I got a little bit of a treat on Sunday, a week from Sunday, on the Aspire tour. We have not only Gary Vee stopping in after his wedding, but Kevin Costner and I get to share the same stage. Are you kidding me? You get to do some cool shit with some cool people if you stay and enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. This was not overnight success. It's been a journey and a half. In fact, if somebody would have told me what I needed to do to get to where I am today, I'm not quite sure I'd do it. But when you take it day by day in an incremental enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own potential, somehow you get there. That's what I want for you, and hopefully you can take that from me. Come and join us anywhere, david@dmeltzer.com. Reach out to us. We'd love to have you be a part of our community, david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you later. Peace.